I didn't want to do a video on this, but it's gotten big enough, and I live in Charlotte, that I'd be woefully ignoring reality. I keep telling y'all that. If I don't like something, I can't ignore it because I'm living in this plane. I'm living in this reality. I can't ignore the lies of government. I can't ignore it. So this rapper, Dababy, I don't know his name. I don't know any of his music. He's performing up here in Charlotte, and he has some weed in his car. And the police shine lights up in his car. They stopped him after the concert, and they actually arrested him. These crackers actually arrested a hometown rapper for a half ounce of weed. Like, they actually booked him for that. And I just kept thinking about how you have police that talk about the Ferguson syndrome and how they don't get out of their cars. They don't enforce the law. They don't, because they're afraid of the courts and they're afraid. But then, which I don't believe. I don't believe that. And if that's been going on, that's more of laziness than any particular one significant event. I don't buy that shit, okay? Let's start off with that. I don't buy that Ferguson shit. Unless you're a cop that's had a close call at IA on such a job, no. I don't think the average cop's thinking like that. That's shit no. Now, what got me is just this. I go and see the post. It's a police blog, CMPD. Folks talk about how cops on there talk about how people don't respect the police and how they're not going to do their job, the Ferguson effect. They're not going to do their jobs and everything. But yet, then you go out here and you do this. See, what this really shows me is really how CMPD, it's an example. CMPD is really out of touch with reality and with the touch of the regular community. They're out of touch with the rest of the community. That you're at a music event, no one's fighting the police, no one's resisting the police, and you cops go out of your way to dig around this man's car for a half ounce of weed that's going to get dropped anyway. The dude's rich. I mean, but like I said, that's what I think of it. And I always talk to you guys about how as a black man, even when we make it, they still hate you, and that you don't have to be a criminal. You don't have to be out here doing nothing bad. You don't have to be in that stuff. That they're gonna hate you simply for you being you. I've talked about that many times before, and this is an example of it. I don't know anything about the brother. I don't know any of his songs. I don't really care. I don't like hip hop. I don't really, I guess I look at American culture as being kind of diseased, at this point. And I know that's not really fair, but that's how I see it. It's diseased. If you're at this point, you're not disgusted with what your government's doing, then something might be wrong with you. You might be, but I know a lot of people don't care. They don't care. So, like I said, that's what it shows you, a detachment. And then there's also, you have cops I've known that like that. They like controversy. They like to go out here and ride startups and shit because they get bored. You have cops like that, And you had policemen on Cedar Post talking about how it was technically legit. And I mean, this is my thing, y'all. I listen to the scanner. Most nights, CMPD ain't got enough officers to respond to calls. Okay, there's been news reports. You can look it up. You can look it up if you want to. There have been violent calls where they have a certain time limit, and they're having timed out calls regularly. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal where you're having timed out calls to burglaries and things like that, and So it just gets me if you're a police officer and you're pushing this narrative of people hate the police, we're alone, but then you do this shit to rile up hate in the community. I don't understand that. Like I said, if you're a police officer and you really believe in the whole Ferguson shit, that people don't respect the police, then why go out here and do extra shit that causes that? I mean, and another thing is, a lot of folks on the Twitter blew up. A lot of folks on the Twitter, I don't really go on there very often, other than for CMPD and people like, businesses in the area, city stuff is when I go on Twitter. I don't put anything on my Twitter. People were on there talking about how half the country has legalized marijuana, and you guys are actually out here still arresting people for marijuana. I mean, I know I taught you guys often about how backwards these crackers are down here, but this is an example of that. This is an example of crackers being out of touch with reality. I think of it as, hey, you may be from Charlotte, you may have to go out and make this money, you still ain't nothing but a nigga to me. Ain't nothing but a nigga to us. And that's how I look at that. That's how I saw it. That's what I looked at it as. It's just, you ain't nothing but a nigga to us. You ain't nothing but a nigga to us. That's how we're going to treat you. That's how we're going to treat you as such. Nothing but a nigga. You know what I mean? We're not cutting you no slack. And it's crazy because these police city police talk about how they have to give black people breaks and stuff. And making jokes, Willie don't get no slack and all that. And it's just like, you really hate to see any black man make it. That's what it come to me. Is just like, you people, you guys hate to see any black man make it. You know what I mean? And there was a cop on there talking about job security. That's really, like, you cops, you really love to see us down. You really love to see us fighting each other. That's why I say to you guys, I really do feel like the opioids, it's nothing but God's gift, man. It's nothing but God striking down the oppressor. And if it wasn't God, why is it mostly white people that are dying in these country redneck ass cracker areas? Tell me that. Yeah, there's black folks that have these problems too. My friend Maurice, the Hispanic guy, he got on that too. But why is it mostly whites that get caught up on that if it ain't God? See, that's God right there. When something that precisely strikes you down after you've done with so much wrong, that's God. You're talking about prophecy. Prophecy is exact. Prophecy is not, well, he was close by 3 days. No. Getting off subject. I just look at it as another example of CMPD, of police departments in the South being behind. I've made multiple videos, you guys, about realizing that being here is like living 50 years in the past, 20 years in the past, and people move here to live 20 years in the past. And there were cops on there talking about, would you have gone to if you were at the Arboretum, with a white area here in Charlotte, and you smell a little weed in the car, would you really wait for the person to come back? No, you wouldn't. This is hate, man. This is hate. Like I said, and this is why you have riots. And this is why Kaepernick kneeled. This is why when you're getting hit by a brick next week, or when your police cars get burned on fire, I want you to understand, this is why. Because you cops have no discretion, you have no respect for people, and you seek to give folks basically, like I always said, give them as much hell as you can as long as you can. That's it. And that's why I thank God for demographic shift. That's why I thank God for the fact these crackers are dying off. I thank God for it. Not that I want them to die, but the fact that they're not going to be in power anymore, the end of white rule, makes me I want to go celebrate now just talking about it. Things like this are just little examples of that, just how out of touch with reality these crackers are. I mean, you're just dealing with people that just, you know what I mean? Like they treated Dababy like if they was at somebody's house and they walked up and they see, that'd be one thing. Dude, he's at a concert. Like, Coldplay smokes weed. What's the dude's name I talk about? Cat Williams smokes weed. I mean, a lot of folks do that. And you really want to arrest him for that? And Dababy walked away. I didn't realize this. They wanted to make a big deal about it. He walked away because he didn't feel any reason to keep talking to them. They arrested him because they were investigating. Basically, man, it was like they stacked up charges on something that was bullshit from the get-go. I understand the DA dropped the charges. Thank God for that. This ends here. And I know on Cedar Post, police were like, well, they're actually making an IA report. See, like those cops, they think that if they do something and it's the law in that book, what's the big deal? And I realized from watching that, reading these different articles over time, that's why these cops are hated. They have no discretion. I'm not even sure these cops know what discretion even is. They have no discretion. They seek to throw the book at everybody, and they don't understand. Him doing that concert is business to Charlotte. You know what I mean? Like, you don't. I don't know. I'll let you guys go. Peace.